So, ladies and gents, Fear Street Part 2, 1978. I reviewed the first one of these, really didn't like it. I will say this much, this film was better. Much better. Doesn't mean it's good, alright, but it's much, much better. And I think, unfortunately, it's actually down to the cast. I think that the cast of the first one was really weak. Or maybe the characters and the way the characterizations of those people from the actors' perspectives just made them really unlikable. Because this was a much, much better film. Much, much better film. It's still massively derivative, right? It's hugely derivative. But again, that's kind of what it's supposed to be. It is supposed to be derivative. This is very much the sort of Camp Crystal Lake, right, of this series. Right? They are literally at Camp Nightwing, whatever it's called. A bunch of kids, and then, axe-wielding murderer. So it is very much the sort of Camp Crystal Lake likelihood there. The derivativeness comes from that. But it was better, much better than the first one. Now, in terms of the cast and the acting, and what I liked the most about it, there was an actor who plays. Let me have a look. Emily Rudd. I thought she was great. She plays Cindy Bergman. She was really good in this. She plays this sort of meek character at the start, and then the sort of facade comes away at the end. I liked her. I liked her a lot. Thought she was great in this role. There was still a whole bunch of utter nonsense in this. So basically, what's the story, right? It's all set up in part 1, isn't it? Part 1. There's all these murderers throughout Shadyside's history, and they're all coming back because of the witch. Fear, right? Whatever her name is, Fear. And this flashes back to 1978, and it is literally just a flashback. This whole movie is a flashback to how the witch, or how to defeat the witch, or how Ziggy Bergman got around the witch, that sort of thing. And because of that, because we've already seen this killer before, the killer's not the focus. The focus is the characters, but the characters are done by this movie's time. They're done and they're dusted anyway, like after this film in the actual timeline of the series. So it does seem a bit of a wasted movie at that point. But anyway, like I said, flashback, and then exploring the witch a little bit more. That's what this movie serves to do. And it sets up the third movie, which presumably is another flashback, but sort of not, but sort of is. You'll know by the end of the film if you know what I mean anyway. If you've watched it, you'll know exactly what I mean. But I do think that they've really let this down quite a lot. And in terms of how long was this film again? 1 hour 49 minutes. It is very strange. It is almost like Netflix has a mandate for their movies being 2 hours long. I don't mind long movies. I like long movies, but they really need to get better editors for their films. God damn, do they need better editors, because they can chop a lot of the fat off this. A lot of the fat. Now, this film reveals itself to be primarily what this series is aimed at: kids, like teenagers, like young adults, because it's not scary. Although the kills in this one were more brutal than the first one. You see a lot more, or it felt like you did anyway. And I liked that. I liked that a lot. And it was very much like kids getting hacked up to pieces and stuff like that. I'm not saying I like watching kids get hacked up to pieces. But my point is that everything has risks in this movie. Or it seemed to have risks anyway. The first one, they got rid of a lot of people, basically everyone. And that revealed itself to have major risks and stuff like that, which was great, but the characters were unlikable, so I didn't really care if they died or not. This one, the characters were nice, and because they're little kids, you're like, well, I don't want them to die, but then they get killed anyway, and you're like, oh my god. So I like that, but I can see why this movie was shelved by Fox, or this trilogy of films was shelved by Fox, because it's a tough sell going backwards and forwards in time to tell a story about a witch when in the future you're dealing with all the characters that you're setting up further down the line. It's a hard sell. It's a really hard sell. And I have heard from people who have read the books that they have changed a lot. I don't know. I've never read the books. But people have said that they've changed a lot. And if that is the case, that's a shame. Because especially when you're making these films so bloody long, why would you need to change anything? Surely you could just keep most of it in. The effects were good in this. But it almost just seemed like the origin of how Johnny, or whatever his name was, got his mask. I think it was Johnny. Tommy. How Tommy Slater got his mask. The murderous Tommy Slater. Very contrived. I don't know what I haven't seen the third one yet. I'm going to go watch that in a minute and then bring my review out next week. But this could have been really good. And I do think that it suffers as a result of obviously who it's aimed at, which is, you know, kids primarily. But if you've watched it and you like it, I'd love to hear why. I know a lot of people really do like it. It's not like this one, not bad. This one was better than the first one. The first one I thought was actually really, really bad. Quite derivative, quite crap, to be honest. I didn't see the appeal at all. This one wasn't bad at all. I actually had a good time watching it. It's not a great movie, but it's a good Netflix movie. So if you liked it, I'd love to hear why. Please do let me know down below. Yeah, no spoilers for the third one. No spoilers for the third one. Looks like there's a character from Slipknot in the third one. It's quite funny. The Preacher. I'll be watching that in a minute anyway, so we'll see how that goes. But let me know what you think down below. If you're new here, please do subscribe. You stayed this long, so you clearly enjoyed the video a little bit. And hit that like button on your way out. Guys, returning subscribers and things like that, please do hit that like button, share it, all that good stuff. I do just want to take a moment as a bit of a PSA. Two things. Those that follow me on Twitter would have seen that I was in hospital on Friday. Just an FYI, I'm alright. Sort of, I think. We'll see. But just as a FYI, sorry I couldn't do my Friday stream. I was in there for 10 hours. I was in there from 6 until 4 AM Saturday morning. I was discharged. So just as a quick heads up there. I know no one else really cares about this, but just as a heads up. If you do want to stay up to date on what I'm up to and obviously get advanced behind the scenes things, then follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Mr. H Reviews. Also, my Blu-rays. This is the last week selling my Blu-rays. We have one more week left and then they're all gone. So if you haven't got it, and you've been waiting, and I don't know, you didn't even know, whatever, it's linked down below in the description box. Grab it whilst you can. It's my Lovecraftian horror film, Breaking Lights. It is there for everyone to go and grab. The hour-long making of documentary as well as the film itself. Thanks so much. Take care.